Software engineering job postings are actually rising while freelancers get hammered. Azeem Azhar says it's the Jevons paradox in action. Meanwhile, Gary Marcus is calling billions in VC funding deluge, and new research shows AI helps average workers but hits a wall when you lack real expertise. From a team at the Synthetic Daily, it's Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Good to have you with us.
We went through 40 posts, articles, and threads across LinkedIn, Substack, and YouTube over the past week to dive deeper into the world of AI and the workforce.
Azeem Azhar dropped a post this week that cuts against one of the loudest narratives in tech right now, the idea that AI is decimating software engineering jobs. His argument is backed by data. Software engineering job postings have actually decoupled from the broader labor market and are trending upward. Not sideways, not down, up.
Azhar's explanation centers on what economists call the Jevons paradox, the counterintuitive pattern where making something cheaper or more efficient doesn't reduce demand, it explodes it. He draws a direct line to the 1970s and 80s, when the shift from assembly language to higher-level languages like C made developers dramatically more productive. Did that kill programming jobs? No. It spawned entire industries, embedded systems, consumer software, the whole PC ecosystem. More productivity meant more ambition, which meant more developers needed.
The PwC Global AI Jobs Barometer backs this up with staggering numbers. Jobs requiring AI skills now command a 56% wage premium, up from 25% just the year before. And critically, AI skills are outperforming formal educational qualifications in immediate labor market returns. Employers aren't asking where you went to school. They're asking what you can build.
But here's the nuance that makes this more than a feel-good story. The St. Louis Fed found a 0.47 correlation between AI exposure and rising unemployment across occupations between 2022 and 2025. With computer and mathematical roles seeing some of the steepest rises. So the aggregate numbers look fine, but inside those averages, there's real churn. The developers who are thriving are the ones building with AI. The ones who aren't adopting it are falling behind fast.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting. If you want to see where AI displacement is actually happening right now, not in theory, not in projections, look at the freelance market. Ramps Economics Lab published data showing that the share of business spending going to freelance labor marketplaces collapsed from 0.66% in Q4 2021 to 0.14% by Q3 2025. In the same period, spending on AI model providers rose from near zero to nearly 3%. More than half of the businesses that used freelancers in 2022 have stopped entirely.
Researchers at Washington University, publishing through Informs, found something even more unsettling. It's not just low-skill freelancers getting hit. Top performers are experiencing the largest setbacks. Every 1% increase in past earnings correlates with an additional 0.5% drop in job opportunities and a 1.7% decrease in monthly income. The better you were, the harder you fall. Why? Because the tasks that commanded premium rates, polished writing, clean code, sharp design, are exactly the tasks where AI closes the gap fastest.
This matters beyond freelancing because gig work has always been a leading indicator. When companies test new workflows, they test them on contractors first. The organizational friction is lower. No evidence, no retraining obligations. If the AI experiment works on freelancers, it migrates inward. And the ramp data suggests it's working. One more thing before we wrap the main stories. Gary Marcus came out swinging this week. Twice, actually. In his first post, he pointed to foundational LLM performance on ARC-AGI 3, where the best result was below 1%. He called it a symptom of a fundamental capability gap, not a minor miss. He's equally unimpressed by the 0 to 4% scores these models post on automation benchmarks.
His target isn't just the technology, it's the capital flowing toward it. He specifically called out Mira Murati's new company, Thinking Machines Lab, which raised $2 billion in a seed round, one of the largest in Silicon Valley history, with what Marcus describes as a vague mission statement and no demonstrated technical moat. His phrase for the moment, Gen AI Delulu. The industry, he argues, is caught in a collective hallucination about what these systems can actually do.
In a second post, Marcus laid out what he calls his consistent stance. AI can't replace you, but it might anyway. The distinction is between technical capability and corporate psychology. CEOs, he argues, don't read the benchmarks. They read the hype. They see cost-cutting opportunities and act on ideology rather than evidence. The result is displacement driven not by AI competence, but by executive overconfidence in it.
Whether you agree with Marcus or not, his critique lands at an interesting moment. The Census Bureau's Business Trends and Outlook survey found that fewer than 10% of firms were using AI in the production of goods or services as of mid-2025, under its original narrow definition, though that figure climbs to around 18% when any business function is included. But the narrative, the story executives tell themselves about what's coming, is running far ahead of the reality, and narratives, as Marcus points out, have consequences.
Now, shifting gears a bit, Harvard Business School published a study that should be required reading for anyone managing AI adoption. Researchers worked with 78 employees at IG Group and found that generative AI genuinely helps workers with adjacent skills approach expert-level output. If you're a solid 7 out of 10 at something, AI can push you toward 9. But there's a wall.
When workers lack sufficient baseline expertise, when the knowledge distance from the task was too large, AI couldn't bridge the gap. It's more useful for conceiving ideas than executing them. You can brainstorm brilliantly with Claude or GPT, but if you don't have the domain knowledge to evaluate and refine what comes back, you're stuck with something that looks good but doesn't hold up.
This connects to a broader pattern documented across multiple studies. The International Center for Law and Economics reviewed controlled experiments and found 25% reductions in task completion time and 40% quality gains in knowledge work. But the benefits are wildly asymmetric. They flow disproportionately to less experienced workers, producing what researchers call skill compression. The gap between your best performer and your average performer shrinks. That's great for organizational output. It's less great if you're the expert whose differentiation just got compressed.
The MIT Monk, a creator on YouTube who blends monk training, mathematics, and tech careers, made a related point this week about what he calls the M-shaped career. Drawing on David Epstein's research, he argues that in complex fields, range beats early specialization. Having 2 or more genuine pillars of expertise, connected by curiosity, creates resilience. If AI compresses one of your skills, the other holds. It's a structural argument for exactly the kind of career that used to get you labeled as unfocused.
Sometimes the best way to understand where an industry actually is, not where thought leaders say it is to read the job postings. Omniforce AI posted a hiring ad on LinkedIn this week for an AI engineer role that tells you everything about where production AI has landed in mid-2026.
The requirements read like a full-stack systems architecture role, not a machine learning research position. They want LangChain, LangGraph, CrewAI, the agent orchestration frameworks. They want RAG systems built over compliance documents. They want multi-system integrations spanning CRMs and external APIs. And they want someone who owns delivery timelines across multiple projects simultaneously. This isn't fine-tune a model and hand it off. This is build the plumbing that makes AI actually work inside a financial services firm.
Meanwhile, AWS is hiring software development engineers, the traditional title, but specifying Go, Rust, and Python with deep system design chops. The subtext is clear. The infrastructure underneath AI systems still needs humans who understand distributed systems at a fundamental level.
I was reading through this, and Nate Beef Jones, whose short-form videos on AI career strategy have been racking up tens of thousands of views, frames this as the frontier versus comfortable question. Are you working at the edge of what's possible, or are you in the zone that's about to get automated? The Omniforce AI job posting is frontier work. It barely existed 2 years ago. The comfortable zone? That's the freelance writing gig that just disappeared from Upwork.
Here's a number that connects everything we've talked about today. 55% of U.S. employees say they're burned out, but only 4% have a clear career plan. Stephanie Hills shared that stat on LinkedIn this week alongside the story of a senior executive she calls Debbie. Big title, strong reputation, always busy, always needed, but no clear path to what she actually wanted next.
Exactly. In an AI-disrupted labor market, this gap is dangerous. The World Economic Forum projects 92 million roles displaced and 170 million new ones created by 2030, a net gain of 78 million. But those new roles require new skills. The IMF found that 1 in 10 job postings in advanced economies now require at least one skill that didn't exist in those roles before. If you're too burned out to look up, too exhausted to retrain, you miss the transition.
Gallup's latest data shows 18% of all U.S. employees believe AI will eliminate their job within 5 years. Among those already working at companies that have adopted AI, it's 23%. That's not panic. That's a rational assessment from people who can see the tools being deployed around them. The question isn't whether disruption is coming. It's whether people have the energy and clarity to navigate it. And right now, for most of them, the answer appears to be no. All right, let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture. What are the main themes running through everything we covered today? The first big theme is displacement is real but invisible in averages. Aggregate stability in national employment data masks violent redistribution happening at the occupation and individual level, particularly where AI exposure is highest.
Next, narrative is outrunning capability. Executive decision-making is being driven more by the story of what AI will do than by empirical evidence of what it currently can do, creating a gap between justified and unjustified displacement.
Next, expertise remains the moat, but a narrower one. AI compresses the skill distribution within teams, while simultaneously raising the minimum viable expertise needed to use AI effectively, creating a paradox where both floors and ceilings are shifting.
Next, the freelance market as futures contract. Corporate behavior toward contractors today reliably predicts organizational restructuring of full-time roles 12 to 24 months later, making freelance displacement data an actionable leading indicator.
And the last one, career intentionality becomes survival strategy. In a labor market where the required skills for a given role change faster than training programs can respond, the meta-skill of deliberate career planning has shifted from optional self-help to structural necessity.
So if you're going to take away a few things from today's episode, here's what I'd remember.
Number 1. The 56% wage premium for AI skills means the cost of not learning these tools is now quantifiable, and it's compounding every quarter.
Number 2. If you're a top-performing freelancer, your premium positioning is actually your greatest vulnerability right now, not your protection.
Number 3. AI compresses the middle of the skill curve, but cannot substitute for genuine expertise. The winners will be people who use AI to amplify real domain knowledge, not to fake it.
And finally, watch what companies do with contractors today. That's your 12-month preview of what happens to full-time roles tomorrow.
That's the Synthetic Daily for today. All the sources and links are on the website if you want to dig deeper.
Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.